Alright, y'all, back with another chapter of JJK. And if you haven't seen my latest video on the movie that's supposed to be coming out, check that out down below. I'll put a link. Yeah. But yeah, we're back with another chapter. This is Tokyo #1 Colony number 4. Chapter 164. That rhymed. And in this chapter, we're continuing the battle. Well, we're just actually getting started with the battle between Yuji and Higuruma. And Yuji takes up his stance and he's waiting on him to make the first move. And Higuruma does make the first move. And that first move is a domain expansion right out the bat. But this domain expansion isn't like all the rest. And they really explain it. So they explain it as, usually the domains expansion that we see are usually sure hit, sure kill. But this domain expansion is just sure hit. And the way Tengen explained it is that today's Jujutsu sorcerers focus on the sure hit, sure kill so much that it basically takes them a lifetime, and basically a small percentage of people can have that. So that's the reason why a lot of people don't really have domain expansions. But in the old days, people just focus on the sure hit, which made them come up with different rules and regulations for how their domain works. Which means that basically back in the old days, a lot of people had domain expansions, which I'm here for. Which means that in theory, Yuji could get a domain expansion, and it doesn't have to be necessarily sure kill, but it can be sure hit. So I'm liking how they explain that, because this I just like that so much. And so basically he catches him in the domain expansion, and basically it's like a court case. He has to plead. Yuji has to plead his case to defend himself against Higuruma, who's gonna plead his case and try to sentence Yuji. And what they use, or what the case is centered around, is just Yuji entering a adult gambling spot, and Yuji has to defend that he didn't enter. Higuruma's gonna defend that he did enter. And long story short, they go back and forth. Yuji's trying to figure out how he's gonna give his answer. Higuruma's gonna give his rebuttal, and they basically come down to it. Yuji's like, "Yeah, I did it. I entered, but I only entered to use the bathroom." And then Higuruma's like, "Yeah, we caught you. You entered, and you weren't using the bathroom. You were at the gambling spot trying to exchange money. So yeah, that's where you was at." And Yuji's like, "Okay, yeah, caught me red-handed." He ends up losing it, and then he ends up being guilty. And then the guilty verdict was confiscation. And then after that, the domain ended, and Higuruma comes out with an attack, and then he attacks Yuji with the hammer, comes in close, and then gets the hammer to enlarge and getting bigger, and then smacks Yuji again with it. And Yuji takes it. It doesn't really deal too much heavy damage, but Yuji notices something is different. He notices that the size of the mallet changed, so that he can freely conjure it and change its size. And more importantly, he noticed that after the effects of the domain expansion took away his cursed energy, so now he can't use his cursed energy. So it's basically going to be all brute force from here on out. And that's basically the end of the chapter. Now there's a whole bunch that I skipped off, as far as like, that's a lot of dialogue that basically goes on, and how explanation that I didn't really think was important in the video that I'm making right now. But as far as like this chapter goes, I thought it was really, really executed. It gives off many Hunter x Hunter vibes. So I thought this chapter was actually pretty good. So Jujutsu Kaisen, man, what can you say? Nothing really to complain about, because it's always just written to a degree where everything is explained. There's not really many ass pulls, so it's just dope, man. Obviously I invite y'all to check it out if y'all can't wait on season 2. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this chapter. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Like the video, follow me if you want to, or not, then that's cool. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.